Welcome back to another episode of the Afterburners podcast. I'm your host, Sam Niedermeyer, and with me is Robert Koch, co-host. How are you doing today, Bobby?
Well, I'm doing great today, Sam. I'm excited. It's my duty to talk to you all about football today, and I always love talking football. Nothing unusual today, just a normal day here at Afterburners
Nothing
podcast.
unusual at all. Everything's normal. You're doing exactly what you do every day, day in and day out.
Absolutely. I always do this every day. I come here to my apartment. I don't know why I'd come here, but I just talk to you.
Oh, you live here.
Yeah, but I don't have to come here if I live here, right?
It's true. That's true. And originally you were across the pond, it seems. And also a friend, a neighbor up north, Mike Jarvis. Mike, I see you're in the holiday spirit with your sweater there. How are things up north? You getting some snow?
We had some snow, a fair bit of snow last week. This week it's basically all melted away because it was like fucking 38, 40 degrees and raining on Monday and Tuesday, so the snow's basically gone.
All the snow's gone. Well, you look great in your holiday spirit, which leads me to the big question I wanted to ask you. Now we have we have Hanukkah, we have like Christmas, Canada. Like I don't really understand what you guys celebrate on Boxing Day, but is that like everyone goes out and like goes to the gym and just delivers haymakers at each other because they're airing their grievances? Like, because we had that on Seinfeld, it was called Festivus. Is that what happens on Boxing Day?
Well, if you replace the gym with like malls and shops, then yes. I'll be honest, I don't know where the origin of Boxing Day came from.
I believe it's the Boxers' Rebellion, yeah?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I think
But,
Isn't that like in China?
I don't know, man. I'm not a history major.
People just go out and shop or travel home or wherever, and you can usually get some pretty bitchin' deals on Boxing Day. I will be doing nothing. I will be sitting in this basement, probably ripping PlayStation 4 because I have to go back to work on the 27th. So
Boxing Day is 26th, right?
yeah, it's the day after Christmas, so it serves as a kind of a nice break because I'll basically be gone from Friday, so the 22nd, through the 25th at night. So it'll serve as a nice break. I actually get a day to kind of hang out and do nothing.
Well, in honor of Boxing Day, I'll probably get together with my friends from like high school and college, and we'll just fight each other because that's what friends do.
Yeah,
Guys, we have a very exciting show tonight. It's last show of basically of the season that we're gonna have for Afterburners podcast. We have a little bit of a holiday theme. We're just gonna kind of go over and do like a best of and the best and worst that we had from this year. Talk about a little bit of if you had a Rudolph, like who would you take 1.01? See what we did there with the red nose. We got Rudolph, and then obviously we're going to do some wonderful holiday afterburns and different burns that we've had this week. But before we get started, Mike, why don't you deliver us some contact info, and then we'll go to our I was going to say UK friend here, but we'll just go back to Bobby.
Yeah. So you guys can find me on Twitter at Mike Jarvis, and I'll pass that across the pond over to Robert.
Yeah, you can find me at Rek Fantasy. It's REKED Fantasy. It sounds exactly like it's spelled pretty much, and you can also find my work on Dynasty League Football. That's Dynasty League Football. The handle for Twitter is DL Football. So, as Sam has pointed out to me before, I've been wrong about the handle.
Several times.
Yeah, several times. And also check out Open Bar. I was on there last night, just drinking up a storm and talking about football, and it was a great old time. So you should definitely check it out.
All right, and you can find me at The Needy One. And quick question, since you do talk a lot of football, what's going to happen with the Swansea manager? He got sacked. Is that the term you use? He got sacked recently?
So the Swansea manager, he is going away because I heard that he touched someone inappropriately. I mean, that's what's happening to everyone over here in America, right? I have no idea.
I don't know why I just fell for that.
He's bad at managing a football club.
Mike, you got some Premier League knowledge, right? Like, I do. What's the scoop on that?
basically Swansea, I don't know how or why we got onto this topic, but Swansea's in a relegation battle. He's bad at managing, and they shouldn't be in the relegation battle that they're in. They're not a good team, but they're better than the bottom three. So it's easier to sack. It's just like in American football or baseball or hockey, whatever. It's easier to sack a coach than a squad full of players.
Well, are they all just not using their heads, Mike? Because, what I've learned about football is you always just got to use your head. Your head's pretty strong, and just heading the ball into the goal seems to be the way to win.
Headers are pretty sick. I mark out pretty hard for headers.
That's all I do in FIFA when I'm playing FIFA.
Oh,
just lob it up and try to head it.
Yep. And then L1 in circle, boom. They get the power header.
And on Boxing Day, right? You get in a boxing match with someone, you just head them.
Exactly.
This is what a fantasy football podcast is all about. Boxing Day and the Premier League. We better get going to the next category before I get sacked as the host of this podcast. We had a pretty fun year. We have a couple topics we're going to hit on. We have some fun ones. So the first one we're going to talk about is your best call of the year. This could be a trade. This could be a free agent pickup. This could be something that you basically said, hey, I called this and this happened, even though it had nothing to do with somebody on your team. Mike, trade, call, pickup, move?
Fuck, I made a lot of trades this year.
Yeah, and they were all perfect, right?
No. A lot of them were really good, but they definitely weren't perfect. I would have to say the trade, I was thinking about that all day today. The trade that I made today that put me in the best situation that I'm in right now, going for the championship against our good friend Justin, it was like end of September, and I've been trying to get AJ Green for about 4 months. And finally, our league mate Saul messaged me the one day out of the blue. He's like, yo, you want AJ Green? I'm like, fuck yes, I do. I was just getting ready to leave for work. I was actually late for work because of this. And he was like, well, he wanted something. I forget what it was. But anyway, I ended up sending Andrew Luck in 2 seconds, which sounds like a lot. But I got AJ Green and Tyrod Taylor. And this is back when we thought Andrew Luck was still going to come back this year. They hadn't shut him down for like another month after this.
There you go, looking like a genius.
Yeah, so basically obviously I expect Luck to be back next year. But I got AJ Green and Taylor essentially for 2 seconds for this year anyway. And then I flipped Tyrod Taylor over to Bobby in a mega deal like 2 weeks after that, 3 weeks after that. So
yeah,
that
was one of my worst trades of the season, I think. So good job there, Mike. I got too caught up in trading, and it was a rough one for me.
But you know what's funny about that is, so the big prize in that coming back to me in that deal was T.Y. Hilton, and I think I've only started him once all year, and he shit the bed.
Yeah, really, the big prize was Adam Thielen. Thielen's been a mighty dynamite for you, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's true, but I mean, at the time, I thought the big prize was going to be Hilton, and I mean, as you know, because you've had him, I've been basically after T.Y. Hilton for the last year and a half. And then I finally got him. I'm like, oh, fuck yes. Here we go. I've now coupled AJ Green with Hilton in a trade all in like 2 weeks' time. I thought I was going to have this fucking mega core of wide receivers, which I ended up having. But it was Thielen instead of Hilton, who has really been the star this year in that deal.
Bobby, what was your best call?
I have two I want to talk about real quick. One is...
You better have two worse calls then, if that's the case.
I probably do. I have a lot of bad calls I made this year. One is I traded Cardiac Cats Justin in our Superflex Best Ball League. I traded him Jay Ajayi, who's also actually from across the pond, just like me. And I traded him for Kareem Hunt, Kenny Galladay in a 2018 first. And as you guys know, Kareem Hunt has been money and probably the reason that I'm in the championship in the first place. And then another call I made is I said Brandon Cooks would be very good as a Patriot, and he's been a top 15 wide receiver on the year. So going to take some credit for that one and pat myself on the back.
There you go. I got to be a pat too. I didn't know where to go with this one. I had a a good move in our dynasty league. So I'm gonna go with that one. I think it was a good move. I traded a first and a second for Jared Goff with our buddy Andrew in our league. I thought that was a pretty good move, especially it's a 2-quarterback dynasty league. Now I got roasted on social media because I put out a poll and everyone voted against me. But I think that was just that was just people putting too much value on the first pick. I like Jared Goff, especially for a dynasty 2-quarterback. I think that was my good move. What do you think?
I think it was a great move on your part. You've still got, and the thing is, you still have what, like 3 first-round picks or something?
Yeah, I got 4. I initially had 5. I think maybe I initially had 4. Now I have 3 left.
Yes, at any rate, you've got
what that pick ended up being, though. Was it the first overall?
It was the first overall.
So I still don't like it because Jared Goff, he's been pretty good, and I have a bet on the Rams against John DeBarry. His Twitter handle is, I believe, DeBarry22, and we bet on the Rams winning a playoff game. But you could have gotten Saquon Barkley, and Barkley's going to be great. I think he's going to be better than Kamara or Hunt, possibly.
Yeah,
well,
but
you put too much stock on Barkley, I think, and we've had this argument before.
So here's my thing. I'll take proven talent over a pick any day. Plus the rate this league trades fucking picks in the offseason, Sam's gonna reacquire that pick at least 2 more times.
Well, Andrew's the one with the 1.1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be traded probably 6 times then.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, I agree.
Worst calls. This could be trades. This could be moves. I definitely have one for me. Definitely.
I got one for me as well. I ended up, so maybe, I don't know, we'll say it was like July, as the 3 dedicated listeners we have know, I'm a big Saints fan. And I got really worried that Mark Ingram wasn't going to do shit this year because of AP and Kamara being there. And so, I don't know why, I was probably bored and maybe a little drunk one night. I got really enamored with Lamar Miller and somehow talked myself into trading Mark Ingram in a second to Zach at Lopsided Trades for Lamar Miller. And in retrospect, that was a fucking awful deal. Not that Miller's had a bad year. And so, funny story about that, maybe like beginning of October, I actually traded Lamar Miller to our buddy Andrew in a deal for Mark Ingram back. So it came full circle. But I ended up losing a 2nd-round pick basically for nothing. So that's my worst move of the year.
I thought you were going to talk about getting C.J. Anderson in our league.
Hey, how about you suck a dick? C.J. Anderson, I'm still a big C.J. Anderson truther. We saw what he did last week when he's actually given the touches. And
so I see, Mike, you're going to use the one good week from C.J. Anderson to say he's a good player, huh?
Well, no, even the first 2 or 3 weeks I had him, he was doing well. It's because the Broncos became absolute dog shit and were playing from behind, so they had to throw the ball to Booker. And even acquiring C.J. Anderson, that led me. I flipped C.J. for Juju, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Actually, turned out all right.
Yeah. Bobby, what's your worst move?
So it's probably with our good friend Christian. And before the season started, I really liked Mike's Saints Willie Snead. So I traded Duke Johnson, Golden Tate, and I think that was it for Willie Snead, Laquan Treadwell, and DeAndre Washington. So clearly I got super valuable players out of that deal. I did actually end up managing to flip Laquan Treadwell with Sammy Watkins for Corey Davis and a first.
Damn.
So, yeah, I'm a good trader. What can I say? I'm just in a patting myself on the back mood tonight and just humble bragging all over the place. But
is that our league?
No, that's my original Dynasty League, which I'm in the championship of. I'm in the championship of every Dynasty League I'm in except the one we're in together.
Yeah, so I don't really have any proof. You're just making this up.
And I've been in championship.
I've been lying to you guys about what my voice was before tonight, so Clearly I'm just a liar.
Sam, what's your worst move?
Yeah, as you guys know, I've been hating on Kareem Hunt since day one. And then before the season even started, this isn't a redraft league. Before the season even started, I was offered Kareem Hunt for C.J. Anderson straight up because I had C.J. Anderson, and I turned it down and actually said, "You're a fucking asshole with that. I don't even want to counter. I don't even want to counter."
Wow.
And Kareem Hunt then immediately became like the hot commodity after week one. So I tried to trade again. I said, "Oh, you still up for that trade, C.J. Anderson for Kareem Hunt?" Didn't happen. It's
Natural.
Coughlin.
I've got one other really bad move on myself this year that I made. So it was actually a move that I didn't make that I should have. So during the draft, if you guys remember, I traded my first round pick to Mark for Corey Coleman. And so I was left with 2.03. And so at 2.03, I actually really wanted Kareem Hunt, but he went like 2 picks before that or something. So I was like, fuck, what do I do? And so I was looking, and there was 2 players who I was looking at. One was who I took, Zay Jones, and the other one is who I should have taken. Any guesses who that is?
Alvin Kamara.
You got it. And do you know the reason why I didn't take Alvin Kamara?
Because you had just gotten rid of Mark Ingram?
No, I hadn't got rid of Ingram at that time yet. But the reason I didn't take Kamara is because I didn't want to be accused of being nothing but a homer. I thought if I take Kamara with my first pick of the draft at 2.03 after I traded away 1.7, you guys are just going to sit there and make fun of me all fucking year. You're like, this guy's nothing but a homer. Because at the time I had Breeze, I had Ingram, I had Brandon Coleman on the squad. I was trying to get Colby Fleener. And I was like, these guys are just going to think I'm the biggest Saints homer, which I am. But I'm just going to get ridiculed for all year. So I'm like, I'm going to take this young wide receiver who's probably got pretty good hands. And our friend Justin was talking to me about Zay Jones. He's like, I really like Zay. I've seen him play in college. He's like, I really think you should take Zay. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take Zay. I don't want to be a Saints homer. I'll take Zay. I felt really good about it until like week 3. And I'm like, fuck. I'm an idiot.
I have another bad call that I made in our league, so you guys will. And this is, again, our friend Justin. I got to throw a bone his way because we've been talking about moves that came back to bite him. But I traded him Travis Kelce for Tyler Eifert and a first-round pick because I thought I was selling high on Travis Kelce. And I regret it because I did get Mitchell Trubisky, who I still believe in, but Tyler Eifert is garbage.
Yeah. I remember you talking about that deal. I forget what my stance was, but I remember I was very pro one way or the other.
You said I should do it. So you're equally to blame.
Fuck you, Mike.
Maybe I was just trying to get you to get rid of a good player. We'll find out.
That's the last time I talked to you about doing a fucking deal, eh?
Yeah. So the next segment is going to be sponsored by our good friends at Heineken. Now, Heineken doesn't know they're sponsoring this podcast, but we're going to get them too. So this next question, Mike, sponsored by Heineken.
Can our good friends Mill Street Brewery?
Queen Street? What is that? Is that good?
Mill Street Brewery. It's a
Mill
Queen
Street
cider.
Real quick, why we're sponsored by Heineken tonight is 1, I'm running low on Shinerbock, and 2, Shinerbock's been making me feel very full lately. Shinerbock, please don't not sponsor me because I said that. I still love you. I just can't drink you as much. It goes right to my belly.
Get it together. Get in his belly.
Get in my belly.
So let's say this, all right? Because of the holidays, we're going to say you're Santa. Who would you take as your Rudolph if you could start a whole new dynasty? Startup draft. You're going 1-1 because you're Santa and you need a strong Rudolph to take you through that fog. Who are we starting with? Who's going to be your 1-1 pick?
Bobby, you can go first.
So I'd be accused of being a homer here. Well, actually, I can't be a homer because I'm not even from New York. But I'm going to take Odell Beckham still. I think
he's J.J.
He's one of I love J.J. Well, here's the thing.
No, he's because he's a homer.
Actually, I don't love JJ because JJ is from England, and I'm not quite from England. And it's very offensive to assume that anybody who has an accent that sounds like this has to be from England.
Brexit.
But yeah, Brexit was terrible. Anyway, I would take Odell Beckham because of the age. And I know people are concerned about his quarterback, but here's the thing. Eli Manning has actually not been a good quarterback for the past few years. And if they get a new quarterback, it could be an improvement on the QB play that Odell Beckham is seeing. So you think about the stats he's been putting up with this guy who, don't get me wrong, I like Eli Manning just from what my friends in New York tell me about him and from watching the game from afar. But, I really think that it could be an improvement. And he's only going to be, I think, 25 in the next season. He's on a historic pace. So got to go with Odell personally. Over to you, Mike.
I'm not going to be a homer with this pick. And I'm going to stick in the NFC, but I'm actually even going to stick in the NFC East. I'm going to go with Zeke. The guy's dominant. We've seen it for the year and a half. All the suspension bullshit is behind us unless he does anything else stupid, which he might, but who fucking knows? He's on a pretty good offensive squad. He's got a nice, good young quarterback over in Dallas with him. The guy just is if you're Santa and you need a reindeer to fucking plow through that fog, you need a running back who will plow through those defenders. And I can't think of a better running back for age and just the system that he's in right now than Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, I'm going to be a homer. And I'm going to say it's really hard for me not to take Le'Veon Bell still. I mean, the guy's the second best receiver, and the person who's on his team is the best receiver in the NFL. He's the second best receiver on the team. The volume is there. People are going to say, like, is yards per carrier down? But I don't care because he gets the touches, right? Like,
right.
Even if he finishes first in fantasy points and he had he didn't have fantasy, he didn't have a yards per touch. I don't care. If he finished first in fantasy points for like 2-3 straight years in a row, there's something to it. So it's still hard for me to not say Le'Veon Bell wouldn't be my number one overall pick. And he's only 25 still, so he's still got I would say another 3 to 4 solid years left, and that the 4 might be stretching it, but I mean, some running backs have it. I think he's just smart with his body. He runs out of bounds a lot. And I don't know. I would still take Le'Veon Bell. You got 3 solid years at a premium position. You got to take that.
Yeah, I like Bell. My only concern with Bell is he going to stay in Pittsburgh?
And he probably that's a legit concern. And I mean, he's running behind 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen this year, so that's a legit concern. But still, wherever he goes, he's a wide receiver option. A PPR league, it's hard to say hey, even if he only rushes for only 1,000 yards, he could still catch 70, 80 balls in a season.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of the picks that we mentioned were bad picks. Any one of those 3 could be a good route off for you.
And it's funny, we all mentioned some guys that are kind of veteran-y. I know Ezekiel Elliott's only his second year, but he's basically like a proven talent. We didn't go. I said beforehand, I was talking with my Scottish friend Bobby. I was like, oh yeah, Kareem Hunt, as the number 1 pick. But you go with proven talent, and that kind of leads us to our next thing, which is, what is the biggest takeaway you had? This is my first year playing a dynasty league, and especially a 2-quarterback dynasty league. My biggest takeaway for me was that, Mike, you just said it a few minutes ago, I've learned a valuable lesson that the proven talent, it's there, and there's a lot of value to it. And as soon as it starts syncing up, you could probably just dump that asset to get younger proven talent with another draft pick, because people are always going to be like, ooh, I could get a draft pick here. But to me, I think it's abundantly clear. Now, maybe not so much in baseball. In baseball, I think it's overwhelming. It's proven talent. But in football, I mean, you get these guys that have been playing through only 3 or 4 years. I mean, they still have another 3 or 4 years of just being a top 10. And so why would you not? So I think if you don't put as much stock into a draft pick as proven talent, I think that was my biggest takeaway.
Oh, for sure. As the listeners of the pod and hosts of the pod, you guys know my stance on draft picks and proven talent. So I guess the biggest thing that I learned this year would be and I saw this on Twitter actually. is kind of keep track of the tendencies from the guys in your league, the guys who like to trade for proven talent. And
That's
guys,
credit to Leo. His Twitter handle is at Siga. That's CIGA FF, I believe. I'll look it up later if not. But you're talking about the Dynasty notebooks, right, Mike?
yeah. So basically, just paying attention to the guys who like to trade for proven talent, and the guys who go, bonkers over picks and shit like that. And that was something that I never really thought of before. I was just like, okay, just try to formulate a plan. We'll get a couple Mill Street ciders into me and see what I can make of this Wednesday night. Whereas, as the season went on, I was definitely more conscious of it. I was like, okay, this guy prefers picks over, guys who've been in the league for 4 years. So maybe I'll offer him a second instead of a guy like, fuck, I don't even know, a Golden Tate. So something like that. I would say that's the biggest lesson I learned.
For me, I guess it was consolidating assets. And what I mean by that is
I was so hoping you would have said consolidating power.
I had a league where I had a lot of good talent, but it made my start-sit decisions very tough each week, to the point where it got very frustrating where I was making a wrong decision at least once per week. So what I started to do, especially towards the trade deadline, is try to send some of those guys away so that next year I don't have as many decisions to make. For example, I sent Carlos Hyde, Corey Coleman, a first and a second, for Odell Beckham, who I can just plug into my lineup and not worry about it. And I think that's important to realize, because at least in leagues where you have to make lineup decisions, having too many options can actually be a negative thing.
When you said start or sit, can you say that again, please?
Start or sit.
Start or what?
Start or sit.
Start or sit? Or start or shit?
Start or sit.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
It's
far.
It's funny. Before the season, you guys remember my roster. I had dog shit for basically, like, I was a complete total rebuild. I inherited a terrible team last year, and I was like, you know what? Tear it down, build it back up. Yep. I remember thinking to myself, there's no way I win a fucking game. Well, I won like 2. And judging by and you look at like the point differential and stuff, like my points were like my point differential was bad, but still it wasn't like to the point where I was like getting annihilated week in and week out. And like if you go by point per game, point per week system, so to me, like I had all these guys that I was like looking forward to. But if you have like the proven talent, like I have a couple guys that have proven talent, right? Like Carson Wentz, like he's good. Yep. Now I have Josh Gordon. I'm excited for next year. I got some proven talent guys. I'm going to add in some pieces. I might make a trade here or there. Coming for you, Mike.
That's the whole point of playing Dynasty, man.
Yeah, you're probably going to.
That's it.
You're probably going to fire your boy Le'Veon Bell for me this offseason. So,
I mean, I would always be intrigued by Le'Veon Bell. I get Le'Veon Bell, dude. I'm automatically a contender.
Yeah, he won't come cheap, but he'll definitely be on the trade block this offseason.
Because then I also have Connor, who's the backup.
Mike's adding this to his notebook right now. He's going sell Le'Veon Bell to Sam for first next season.
No. The price would have to be right. I'm not gonna be crazy. I learned my lesson.
Right, but I mean, you look at what I did last offseason. So I made the finals last offseason, and Jack, had a great team. There's no denying that. But I think I lost because I was very top heavy, and I had AB and Breeze and Luck, and I don't remember who else was on my squad at the end of the year last year. But I just remember being very top heavy. So like the last week, I had a couple guys who were nicked up, and I didn't have a lot of depth. So what was the very first thing I did? Basically, the day that this year opened up, was I sent a message out saying, Antonio Brown for sale. Send me your offers. And then Zach gave me a shit ton of assets that I couldn't turn down, and that started the rebuild. So this year, I don't think I have as much top-heavy talent, but I think I have way more depth. And you look at my squad, you're like, okay, that's a solid guy, that's a solid guy, that's a solid guy. And so I'll probably be looking to unload another top piece right at the end or at the beginning of the year when the trade freeze ends in a week or whatever that is.
I had a quick. I'm sorry, I got carried away because I was reading about the origin of Boxing Day, and it just says that it's a holiday celebrated the day after Christmas Day. It's on 26th December, although the attached bank holiday or public holiday may take place either on that day or 2 days later. There's literally that's it. That's what it says. There's no like origin. There's no like, hey, it started when it was because of this. I'm literally just reading what it says, and I'm baffled that there's no background story behind Boxing Day. Now, I read this about like 16 minutes ago, and I've been waiting to say it for the right time. And you gave me enough closure on that statement, Mike, to say that you know, are the man at fucking fantasy football dynasty that I was like, all right, time to go back to this Boxing Day because you guys obviously don't know what the fuck is going on up in Canada, except for dynasty fantasy football, in which you are obviously pretty good at.
I'm pretty good at fantasy sports.
But you don't know shit about December 26th.
I don't.
Oh man, we're running out of time, boys. We got a few minutes left. I mean, you know, obviously it's our show, so we can do what we want. But with the holidays right around the corner, and let's just say holidays can be anything you want: Boxing Day, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you want it to be.
Celebrating Nessie.
Celebrating Nessie. By the way, is there Boxing Day in Scotland?
Good question. I don't know. So just to go in a little background here, I grew up on a farm raising some sheep, you know, and my dad taught me how to tend to the sheep. And I didn't leave the farm all that often until I came to New York for college, and I've lived here ever since. So between the farm and the city, I don't really know too much.
Those are completely polar opposites.
Yeah, it was a big culture shock when I came here.
Yeah. I see you're having trouble fitting in.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Mm-hmm. What's your experiences from living on a farm? What would you say is the best and worst animal?
That's a tough one. So I tended the sheep, so I had a pretty close relationship with the sheep. They also provided warmth in the winter. You can take that as you want, and
you can shear them.
But the horses weren't my favorite. Horses are.
So it's a horse farm too.
Yeah, they're horses. My dad liked to breed some horses, you know.
That's a funny story. I used to have a pretty bad job. So what I did when I was in high school is I would wake up early and go to the horse farm near my parents' house. It'd be like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would actually have to clean the horses' cocks. I would have to like stick my finger into the hole and clean out all of the encrusted sperm. So
now you know why I don't like the horses.
Yeah,
man.
I understand what you mean. I had to, you know, wash it and everything, massage it,
caress it.
I didn't get laid until I was well into college, if that's related at all to the horse cocking cleaning.
You should have worked on a farm in Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, they pay me pretty well at this place in Virginia. They paid me very well. It was you know, like $5 an hour, which at the time, because I'm an old man, that's like gold now. You do it with inflation, that's like $1 trillion Bitcoins an hour now, man. If you like put down to it, but I guarantee you, it was a paying bank in Scotland, huh?
It wasn't good money, but you know, it was a cozy life. Sat by the earth and just told some tales. It was fun.
How about any Scottish Christmas burns that you have that you remember, or Scottish Hanukkah burns over the years?
Yeah, you know, so I hate when people give me a hard time about getting me gifts. I know I'm difficult to shop for, and it's because I like practical gifts a lot, but when people put pressure on me about what gifts to get, it just makes me feel bad. And isn't that like the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish with giving a gift? You're trying to make me feel good, all right? So by being like, oh, you're so difficult and I can never figure out what to get you. Well, I don't know what to tell you, and it really just makes me feel bad. So please stop in the future.
Did you want me to get your fiance for this, or?
No, that was for everybody.
Okay, all right.
Literally everyone. I just know I'm difficult. I'm sorry. I apologize for it profusely, but I can't control it, you know?
You can't control being a difficult person to buy for?
Yeah, I just can't. I don't know what I want. I never have.
So is the burn on everyone else or is the burn on you?
It's both.
Okay.
It's both. Oh, but I do have a quick story to tell, and it's not related. But since we're going on a bunch of tangents tonight, I figure why not. I was at a comedy festival recently, and Leslie Jones, she came out, and she burned the fuck out of me. And this was like Afterburner of the century. She talked about my fiance having to watch my, she called them drawers. I call them boxers. Do you Americans call them drawers?
No, actually, it's a British term.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, she burned the fuck out of me by talking about shit stains, saying that she had to wash some shit stains. And she also told my fiance to blink if she needed help. I didn't appreciate that. I'm a good man. I pay my taxes. I do what I got to do. So Leslie Jones, while you burned the fuck out of me and I appreciate a good burn, I was pretty embarrassed. And there's a video that if anybody really wants, I can share with you. It's about a minute long. So there you go. There's my off-topic tangent for the day.
That's a good burn. You got burned.
Yeah, I got burned hard.
Mike, give us a holiday burn. Were you just playing with a cat, by the way?
Yeah, it's my cat Gertie. She wanted to say hi to everybody.
Hi, Gurney.
So my holiday burn, I guess, would be fuck, I don't even know. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say people who try to force their opinions of certain food on you, especially during the holidays. So, for example, I hate onions and anything to do with onions. So coincidentally enough, I hate stuffing. I think it's fucking nasty. And so we go to my wife's grandparents for Christmas, and they always make stuffing. And every year they're like, "Oh, aren't you having stuffing?" I'm like, fucking known me for how many years? No, I don't like onions. No, I don't like this. Well, just have some stuffing. I don't fucking want it.
Don't give my man stuffing.
Don't give me any fucking stuffing. Give me some corn, some potatoes, some ham, a little bit of turkey, and I'm fucking set. Oh, and some gravy. You need some gravy as well. And then just give me some pie at the end, and I'm set.
Well, I think I was gonna afterburn someone, but I think we actually we all got burned these last couple of weeks because one, net neutrality was repealed. So that's a big scare. I understand there's going to be some lawsuits involved with that from different states. So that's number one. You'll understand the entire system about states suing the federal government. It's all very confusing, but as a foreigner, I don't think you quite understand that.
Yeah, all I really understand, I told you, is the city and the farm. I don't know what goes on outside the city, man.
It's true. That's true. We are a bastion of light in an otherwise dark country. So that's number one. And then number two, apparently, like we're going to be paying debt for the rest of our lives. So that's pretty fun. Now, I hate for this to become a political show, but it's very quite hard for me not to say, America, you've officially been afterburned by one fucking man and his Goonies. And it's almost like on those episodes of South Park where Mr. Garrison is walking around and literally fucking people and saying, like, well, I'm going to fuck you. And that he's making fun of Trump, but that's literally him.
Wait,
Eddie, the South Park.
You're telling me that the South Park depiction is not actually America? I thought Mr. Garrison was your president.
Well, he kind of is, yes. That's very true.
Right.
So congratulations, America. You've been pushed into a goddamn toilet hole these last 3 weeks and just flushed down a toilet with Chipotle shit stains in your drawers and not wiping. That's how I feel. That's what's happened to us.
And then
according to Leslie Jones, that's you don't use the toilet paper. You just read it. It's reading material to us men, apparently. Well, I guess that's it, right, guys?
Wait, Mike, you got one final thing you were going to say there?
After America got pushed into the toilet, they not only do they get pushed into the toilet with Chipotle fucking shit stains, they were then forced to eat stuffing.
Hey, I actually disagree with you there, Mike. I think stuffing is great, and I think onions are great. So, was it your grandma?
My wife's grandma.
Tell your wife's grandma I'll be over to eat all of the stuffing.
You can have my share.
I only had potatoes back where I was from, so stuffing is great.
Connor Coop's grandmother might get jealous.
Oh yeah, Cooper Cup's grandma. If you
What I call him, Connor Coop?
Cooper Cup's grandma, if you make stuffing, I will also gladly accept that. Your grandson is still great. I think he's number, I want to say 2 among the rookie receivers this year. But that's 2 for those who, or maybe 3. I really don't know.
When you say number 2 like that, it actually sounds like you're dropping a number 2.
Maybe I did a little bit. Maybe that's where the shit stains came from.
We're gonna get Bobby some Chipotle away here before the show ends, guys. Thank you so much for listening. You can find Mike at Mike Jarvis, Bobby at Wrecked Fantasy. Of course, this is at Afterburners Pod. I'm at the Needy One. Find us all there. Have a safe holiday season. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Stay warm. Good luck if you're in the finals. Bobby's in about 7. I don't know if you heard him today, but he is. Mike's in the finals in our league. So good luck, guys. My season's done. We'll be back next year. Don't know when, but look out on our tweets. Look out at our Instagram, and we'll be sure to let you know when our next episode will be.
Happy holidays, everybody, and keep it classy, Fantasy Twitter.
And because we forgot to, here's the obligatory shout out to Mark at Welt Fanity. Have a good Boxing Day, buddy. And go out there and win those championships, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you next year.
And again, keep it classy.